Remember, kids, this is not Snow White anymore. This is Snow what?
Can I just remind everybody as we get ready to watch this, this is a $500 million movie now.
If you remember the dwarves from Shrek 1,
yes,
they look better in that movie than they do here.
Renegade Online.
You're about to watch what, $500 million?
I still think they should outdo themselves.
Well, to be clear, we're getting close to, like I've been reporting now since they went into massive reshoots, and this is why I don't think a lot of the CGI stuff was original, because otherwise, why did we pull the plug on this? This movie, kids watching, this movie was supposed to be released, let's see, 5 months ago. 5 months ago. Wait, this movie was supposed to come out in March of this year. It has been slated for March of this year for years, and that was even with the COVID adjustments, the pandemic, theatrical lockdown adjustments.
Reported that they were filming a young actress, though. That had less to do with the dwarves.
Tons of that was the second round of reshoots, and yes, she was given a musical number now at the beginning of the movie.
Oh,
yeah, and this is bizarre. So my point is that the audience, you know, all the reporting that we heard, that the audience reaction, the test screening audiences, did not go well for this in the original iterations. People denied it, but it seems like, look, the proof is in the pudding in my mind. They went back under, let's do it over again, right? They lost most of 2022, or excuse me, they lost most of 23 to do the reshoots thanks to the strikes with the WGA and SAG-AFTRA. Now you're not going back and you're not scheduling this much time and deferring the release of a movie an entire year. And again, after everything, like the picture that we just had up a moment ago of the 7 dirty hippies, when that came out, remember, originally there were publications out there saying that Disney denied it, and then immediately Daily Mail UK said, no, we talked to Disney, and we had people at Disney confirming that picture was legit. That is from the production. That is what's going on. There were a couple of stand-ins because we were doing some drone shots. They were shooting some B-roll again, but it was legit. And then after everybody laughed their ass off at it for a couple of months, then Disney came up with this ridiculous AI image. So
this is not even live action anymore. This is not live action.
This is the teaser trailer now that we've got from D23. And I'm going to try to do as best I can, chat. I'm going to warn everybody now. We are going to get demonetized. Almost 100% positive we're going to get demonetized on this for playing this and for Skeleton Crew. My understanding is Yellow Flash, he got hit today for his stream. We're going to get hit here too. I don't care because we have a great chat. Y'all send super chats. Y'all send membership gifts. This is why these live shows work. So I want to thank you all out there. So here we go. Let's run through it, kids. So we got Bambi there.
Why did they pick that song?
Why is it spooky sounding? Why is it like,
Okay,
It's got to be that slowed down, stupid, like, orchestral type or choir type version of one of the songs. Ethereal.
Although it should have started
with a big boom in the background. Yeah,
it should have started with a single piano key to open.
Yeah,
or there's that one. Yeah,
right.
that's the other go-to, Alan.
Well, but let me tell you what, for this mood, I agree with Alan, is that you could have done this song with just, single finger piano, just going through it and then letting it build in crescendo, but they kind of have this, this big deep drum beat and all this and here's the thing, the song that should have been used for this, obviously, is Someday My Prince Will Come, and we all know damn well why they didn't use that song for this trailer, because they've literally eliminated that whole arc from this story. Remember, kids, this is not Snow White anymore. This is Snow what? That's it.
Well, he's going to be the one who eats the apple, falls asleep, and she'll slap him awake.
Yeah.
Hi-ho.
It's like literally at this point with this deep drum music and these
breaking
beats
and entering.
Wait, distinguish this right now from Lion King or Mufasa. You can't, because it's got the same tone. They don't know how to do anything else but this. So I mean, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna kind of.
I mean, if this was a horror movie, this music would be great.
Yeah,
I mean, these little guys look like murderers walking across the log now.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Like
here's
little
our
Twinkies.
Do a horror remake.
our first silhouetted shot of the 7 animated dwarves. Now, again, these are roles.
Please make this a rap version of this song. So
this is a
takes
live
on a whole new
action.
meaning.
Yeah, this is a live action recut of Snow White.
Turns into
Except
What
it's
Up
all
Ho
CGI.
instead of
Yeah, and
What up, ho?
they animated. They
We got
animated
work to do. What up, ho?
They animated 7 dwarves. They could have hired 7 actors to play these roles. They should have hired 7 real actors to play these roles. But Disney caved in to stupid for some reason.
They needed Alfred E. Newman. They couldn't find somebody who looked close enough to Alfred E. Newman. That's what they got to have, Valiant.
Yeah.
So whistle while you work.
All right, so we go through this whole
So
thing.
terrible.
And we get this, yeah. All this again, I really question if any of this was in camera
Can I
a year ago. I
Can
don't
I just
think
say,
it was.
this is the best they have.
This is the best. they
Somebody sat down and watched the movie as it's
Yeah.
constructed currently and said, what can we make a trailer with? And this is the best they had.
Also,
Yeah.
this goes to my point. It had to have been afterwards because these are 7 white dwarves. There are
Yeah.
no way in hell before the strike that they would have allowed 7 white dwarves.
It's just crazy to me that this is so when you're looking at this, and she can sing. All right, I know this is obviously edited.
Oh,
quite
I'm
a
not.
bit. She
Yeah,
can
I'm not.
sing,
I'm not
but
questioning Rachel Zegler's vocal talent. I want to
the
make that clear.
dwarves Look worse
Yeah.
than Shrek 1.
Yeah.
If you remember the dwarves from Shrek 1,
Yes,
they look better in that movie than they do here, and it's like
that was 25 years ago almost.
Yeah.
X-Wing.
I
And
kind of
do
wish
you-
they
that
would
movie can
Roger
drink
Rabbit
legally.
one.
X-Wing, do you still have your screen share that you sent me a minute ago with the image?
no, I
can
can
you
pull it back up though.
Pull
real
it back
quick.
up for me real quick. I just want to call to people's attention. And again, in my opinion, and I know what Tom's saying, and I think he's got a point to where maybe we would have gone from like we had real people and then it became more fantasy and they became animated. My only issue with that, and this is what I want to draw to people's attention here, as soon as X-Wing gets it up, look at the dwarves right now. Okay?
As soon as
The actual 7 dwarves, like you said, Alan just said it, they're all white. They're
But
all
what if they have those black people and that lady playing them? We'll see. You might be right. Or those are the artisans or the huntsmen or whatever the hell they
you're gonna,
were.
that's what I'm saying is I don't think that Disney is going to take us from having like 2 or 3 black people playing the 7 magical creatures, and that would the 7 magical creatures is what Disney called them. That's not my
You're not
terminology.
wrong. You're not
That's
These
wrong.
are
Disney's.
Latino dwarves, actually.
Yeah.
You're mistaken, sir.
Now they're all white little people.
They're
Yeah, there's no way
Argentinians.
you're going
sir.
to take. There's no way you're going to take a black person's performance and put a white dwarf over it.
There it is. Okay,
They
so
They do that
1,
before they do it the other way around, though.
3.
Alan. That's
There
my
are
point.
3. There is 1, 2, 3 black folks in this image. And so again, they're disappeared when it comes to this trailer. So just let that settle in. Again, there's some major changes, and this is why we're talking about the fact that this is going to be a film that, when all said and done, we are monitoring the production entity. But
go back to that picture for just a second, because remember the excuse they gave us. Because remember, at
Well,
first
it's
it kept
I don't
going
have it
around-
right now, but
Okay, well, yeah, but
Yeah, it's
remember
going.
that picture? They kept saying, "Oh, that's not real.
here we go.
It's not real." Remember, that was their
Thank you,
first
Westwing.
excuse, and then we're like, "Well, wait a minute, are you sure it's not real?" And they're like, "Well, it's not. Those aren't the real actors; those are stand-ins."
Well, no, only 2 of them were stand-ins.
Yeah,
And
It's
Snow
not
White is
Rachel
one of them.
Ziegler. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not
And
Rachel
Snow White was
Ziegler.
one of
Not the
them.
prince.
And the other one
Not
is
the
the
prince.
prince, the one in the blue in the front of this picture, all the way to the right. The prince that's not a prince anymore or whatever.
So if
now
the
he's
rest
like-
aren't stand-ins, and that's how they're going to appear in the film. Then
now
that means
he's
that
a
they're not the
rapey
dwarves.
stalker. Yeah. So
Weird.
Yeah. He's
The
I didn't
CGI
know.
dwarfs remind me of the first iteration of the Sonic CGI model. And
The
that's not
funniest
good.
thing to me is that they're so desperate to not hire white people, they made CGI dwarves instead.
Yes. Bingo. You nailed
that's
it.
where I said, where do you think they wouldn't necessarily have a black person or a lady actually doing the voices? And for some reason, Dopey looks just like Tom Holland. I don't know why.
Let me save this. I'm going to tell you why this happened, why I believe this happened after we get through this trailer. All right, so in 2020, so we know this is coming out in March of 25. We get this overhead shot of the castle.
Mordor.
Game of Thrones.
Basically, yeah, it looks kind of like Mordor kind of
Like Disneyland.
thing. And then we see our first image here of Gal Gadot as the Queen.
Magic mirror on the...
Now, again, I want to say again, the song that was chosen for this "Whistle While You Work." Now we're into the scenes where we're setting up the dark side of the film. We're setting up the antagonist. This song doesn't work. If they had done "One Day My Prince Will Come," this could have fit seamlessly through the whole trailer with each of these scenes, setting it up. But again, this is a storyline that Disney in 2024, because it's run by a bunch of angry intersectional feminist women, they don't want this. They did not want to make a movie where a female character, the most famous one, Snow White, that started the Walt Disney Company back in 1947, that put it on the map. They didn't want to honor what Walt did. They didn't want to honor the Walt Disney tradition. They wanted to do something for modern audiences, and the whole issue of Snow White wanting to meet her knight in shining armor, her prince, her white knight, okay? We couldn't have that anymore because strong women. So that whole part of the storyline is kicked out. And again, this is an issue for this movie.
Who's the fairest one of all?
Okay, I'm sorry. If you're asking me to pick who the fairest one of all between Gal
That's
Gadot
why the
and Rachel
movie's
Zegler
short.
is, sorry, I'm taking the evil queen. I'm taking Gal Gadot every day and twice on Sunday.
Well, that's why I said that's
You're
why the
still
movie's
good,
short,
my
because she's
majesty.
like, magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
Yeah, I'm not trying to say that Rachel Zegler.
The end.
Clear. I'm not trying to say that Rachel Zegler is unattractive, and I want to make that clear. I'm not picking on Rachel Zegler, but when the whole idea is that
you're not upsetting anyone with that.
Snow White is supposed to be like, there's supposed to be a clear delineation, right? Yeah. Snow White is supposed to be unquestionably more attractive than the evil. If they had used the trans actor from Disneyland as the evil queen in this movie,
was not expecting you to go there again.
I hate to say it.
Cue the outrage mobs. We went there, folks.
That would have been a more appropriate casting to put Rachel Zegler's Snow White as the top echelon in this film when it comes to the fairest of them all.
This just doesn't make any sense. The queen's supposed to be older. That's the whole point, is that she's aging out.
Yeah, there's only 16 years between them. Gal Gadot is only 39.
Too hot. Yeah, she's too hot for this.
Like, this should be like Meryl Streep or something like that. Then you'd be talking.
Well,
now I know why they didn't use. Now I know why they didn't use "Hi Ho" for the song.
No. Hear me out, Alan. It's "What Up Ho." What up, ho? We're gonna get the urban audience with that song.
Hey ho, hey ho.
Actually,
what up, ho?
Okay,
there's work to do.
Box because the mirror is actually retarded, so we're good to go.
All right. All right. Okay. So we finally.
Oh, look at that.
And then we get the dirty apple, and then we get a scene again, unless now I will say this. I want to qualify this. The last we knew before all these massive reshoots. Remember the interview tour with Gal Gadot and with Rachel Zegler, huge interview tours. You saw us play the clips all this time.
That was the last D23, by the way.
Because the movie was supposed to come out, and then they said, we're canceling it because of the writer's strike, which was absolute bullshit, because they pulled the plug on the March release 6 months before, in late September, early October. They pulled it almost 6 months before the movie came out. And the writers and actors strike ended like 2 weeks later. It had nothing to do with the strike. It had all to do with the reaction to this movie because it looked like ass from everything we were seeing. Now, I don't know, and part of the big reason was this wasn't going to be Snow White anymore. It was going to be some bastardization of Snow White for a modern audience, and people were downvoting it into oblivion. So we don't know. Maybe now, maybe the romance with the prince is back. We don't know. I'm
downvoting just for the hairdo.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get to the downvoting in a second.
It's the Javier Bardem No Country for Old Men haircut.
Oh man! Now look, I will say this. You know, credit to some of these, like this shot right here. I'll be honest with you, from a cinematic standpoint, I do like some of the cinematography that I see here. Some of these shots, some of this composition is really interesting. But again, this is just a trailer. I have been far too many times in the past deceived by trailers, and then you actually see the film, and it's like, oh, no, it actually looks like shit.
I also appreciate any movie that forgoes lighting.
By the way, one last joke: the haircut is the Asian representation.
Was a bug-eyed deer just pop? Look at that thing!
It's Bambi. It's Bambi. I'm telling you, this is an early preview for Bambi. They're gonna tie Bambi into this. Y'all think I'm joking? Watch it happen.
It looks like a claymation deer where the eyes have popped out of the puppet.
They are gonna try to bring the Disney multiverse together with Bambi and Snow White and everybody else. It's coming, kids. You watch. They're gonna find.
Look out for the crows.
Yeah, they're gonna Snow White's gonna find the reality stone in the last. All right, and then we get that. So again, like Pro said earlier, this is the best they had to show us. Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.